impact of what we think and feel has a tremendous power on our lives and our health. And here's why. I'm going to give you a picture of what happens inside our brains each time we have a thought or a feeling about something or someone that upsets or stresses us. You see, biologically, our brains were designed for survival. It's designed for preservation. So the minute it senses that we are having a thought or a feeling with a strong stimulus, like thinking about that person that hurt us, or that coworker that pissed us off, or what our partner did or didn't do this morning, and we start to feel the emotions of anger, resentment, we start to worry or feel fear, we go on survival mode. All of a sudden, the lights go on high beam. Our brain shifts all this focus of everything around us to that single thing that we are thinking and feeling. So our stress response gets turned on. It's ready to attack, ready to run, whatever it is that we're going to decide to do. And so in our primitive days, when our brains sensed that we were in danger by a lion coming to eat us, it gave us three choices. We could either run, we could fight it, or we could hide. Fortunately, we're not living in the wild anymore, and we're not constantly being chased by lions. But our brains don't know that. And although our environment has changed, our brain has stayed the same. So each time we have a thought or a feeling of something or someone that stresses us, to a brain that's equal to the lion chasing and eating us. Now all of a sudden, all the energy in our body is allocated to that problem, to that person, to that thing. And sadly, we have no energy left that we can use for creation, to learn new things, to create a better life, for healing our bodies. Now, don't get me wrong. A certain amount of stress for short periods of time is actually really good, because it makes us sharp, right? It makes you really focused, so you could do things, you could solve problems, you can achieve things. Unfortunately, 70% of our time is spent on survival mode. We're constantly being preoccupied by something, stressing and dreaming some perceived future problem, because we have programmed ourselves to perceive the world through the lenses of fear, through the programs of victimhood, always dependent on something outside ourselves, an external thing to make us feel better. And by having to live, by the hormones of stress and on high adrenaline for long periods of time, it sends our body directly for disease. You see, our bodies cannot thrive and stay healthy on long periods of stress. It's like running the 4-minute mile, and imagine that you stay at that speed for days. What do you think is going to happen? Yep, very quickly we're going to crash. We're going to pass out. Our body's going to feel depleted, and when our bodies get depleted, our immune system gets compromised. So the good news is that as we got ourselves in that state, we also possess the ability to self-regulate our thoughts and emotions. And that's what 5 minutes to gratefulness, or FMTG as we call it, helps you do. We get out of survival mode so that we can allocate our energy to create new things, to rejuvenate, to repair whatever things in our body that need healing. So learning to stay in a grateful, grounded state helps lower our stress response by placing our attention in the present moment. Now, this does not mean that we are never going to have to deal with stress or have challenges and address urgent matters. That would be unrealistic. But what FMTG gives us is the awareness that we need to interrupt the tape that we keep playing in our minds. And it shortens the amount of time that we spend placing our attention on that external stimulus. Now, we are not allocating all our energy to that problem because we are learning to change the emotions and the attachment that we place to those things. So I hope that knowing a little bit of what happens inside our brains when we are being our stressful selves will help you become more mindful of your thoughts and emotions by shifting your attention to something that's good in your life. With much gratitude.